So I ran across a friend of mine, or a gentleman I consider my friend, Greg Marino. He runs an economic advisory show on YouTube. He put this out this morning. Make no mistake, the current crisis situation is by no means an accident. No comedy of errors got us here. This is all 100% deliberate and central bank driven. With that, as we have discussed repeatedly, the faster that the world economy free falls and the higher debts and deficits get, the higher the stock market will go, along with massive current devaluation. This will continue until it doesn't. So for now, we take advantage of everything we can. People, this guy is just as honest as you can ever be when it comes down to finances. He's taught me a lot. There are about 4 or 5 people I follow on different blogs weekly. And he's right, make no mistake, the current situation is by no means an accident. No comedy of errors. I've taught about the central bank before. The bloodline got a hold of the money and the trend generations ago. And now this caste over our money, over our economy, not just the United States, but the world. They put in the final dagger. You see, we got off the gold standard back in the day. I said we got off the gold standard back in the day. Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. Now everything's the petrodollar. But as everything overseas becomes more turbulent, as things become more disturbed, so to speak, the petrodollar is even in trouble, which means the dollar's in trouble. And if you look back in recent history, all the countries which have tried to get off the petrodollar, those leaders either disappeared or died. In my humble opinion, Saddam Hussein, Omar Gaddafi, go down the list. Any and everybody who tried to get off the dollar, which would disturb the world economy, has been dealt with. That's the God right now of America. But you know, people like China don't care about that. Countries like China, they have an agenda. Russia has an agenda. And America is vulnerable because we have stretched ourselves too thin. No longer can muscle and might dictate the world the way it used to be. That's why I'm telling you we're headed toward WW3. If you can, pay off your bills, lower your bills, get your credit better, get out of debt, take on a part-time job. I'm not a doomsdayer, but I know after this current election of the so-called President of the United States, who is selected, not elected, the storm is going to hit. I'm buying food and I'm just hunkering down. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm going to let you know what's really going on. And the reality is that they're not telling you the truth. It was Donald J. Trump less than 2 weeks ago outside the courtroom. What he say? If I'm not elected president, and I paraphrase, we will have a situation like 1929. They're telling us, people. They're telling us. The devaluation of the dollar is what they want. Bring all the countries, including America, to its knees so they can enter into the Antichrist system. You got to understand where they're going. This is prophecy without using scripture. Again, this is prophecy without using scripture. They know full well where we're going with this economy. They have to strangle everything that can be prosperous for us to stand. It used to be you could stand on 3 legs of a stool. Now we're down to 2. It's impossible to keep going. We pay more debt on the interest than anything, and we probably can't even pay back the interest on the debt. What do we have, 34 trillion now? China owns our debt, other countries own our debt. It's a terrible situation to be in when other people own your debt. That means they can help run your country and influence policy. This is why I say in a lot of my videos, Congress and the President They're owned. They're more than just puppets. They're tools. We put ourselves in this situation. Free-blooded Americans didn't do it. The leadership was either bribed or they were part of the dark plan all along. But we're going into the New World Order, to the new beast system, the 666. As long as I have this sight, I will tell you the truth and give you perspective. We are to endure until the end, until Jesus comes. Let's say it together. If you long for thy kingdom will come. If you long for thy kingdom, thy will shall be done. God lays up treasures for us in heaven, but he gives us common sense. I'm giving you my thoughts. You give me yours. What do you think? What have you seen? Businesses are cutting back every day. Small businesses are cutting back and closing down every day. The value for your dollar when you go out to get a product, it's not the same. You go grocery shopping, you buy a half a gallon of something, they've cut it down, but yet the price is higher. Make that make sense. The signs are there, people. It makes no sense that it's happening, but it does make sense when you put it in perspective. They're leading us into allegiance to a one world system. So I pray for you, you pray for me. We're going to hold on to God's unchanging hand. These things are merging and emerging because these are the last days. And again, Revelation 13 is real. The mark of the beast. Let's be ready, because the central banks are the tools of the devil, in my humble opinion, allegedly. God bless you and thank you for listening.